Hi guys, this is Thunder E from Board@Work, and today we're going to be doing a comparison between the DualShock 4 and the DualShock 3 Sony PlayStation controllers. Now, these are the controllers that you can use for your PlayStation. Of course, the DualShock 3 works with the PS3, and the DualShock 4 is for the PS4. But one similarity is that both controllers can be used to play the PlayStation 3. The DualShock 4 here can be used with the PS3 using, of course, the micro USB cable to your PS3. It doesn't work wirelessly, but you can use it that way. So let's check out some of the distinct features of each controller, and we'll look at the DualShock 3 first from Sony. So this first off is a Sixaxis controller. What that means is that it's got the motion controls in there, so you can actually tilt and move the controllers, and you can see the branding says DualShock 3 Sixaxis. And now the controller face itself, you've got the traditional PlayStation buttons, the triangle, square, X, and circle here. You've got your D-pad here, which is probably one of the better D-pads on the market here, especially for fighting games. Yeah, the D-pad handles very well. Now you do have your PlayStation button in the middle. You've got the start and you've got the select button right there. Now your two analog sticks, of course, are placed below next to each other. They're not offsetting like the Xbox One controller. That's pretty standard affair with PlayStation. It has been since the PS1. Now, if we bank around, you can see if you've got two shoulder buttons here. You've got your L and R buttons, and you've got 1 and 2, or which would be technically like an R2 and L2. The triggers here are softer. They don't feel as fully loaded as you expect, so they're actually softer triggers. And the controller hold, of course, those who know the PlayStation controller quite well, it feels a little bit narrow in hold, especially while gaming, because you can see how my two fingers literally just touch each other there. Now, this is a rechargeable controller. The battery is built into the controller here, and you can see you can charge it using a mini USB cable here to actually charge it. You can charge it either on a plugged into your computer or to the wall, or actually directly to your PS3. It's also got indicators here, 1, 2, 3, 4, indicating which controller this is tied to. So if this is controller 1, 2, 3, or 4, depending on how many controllers you have on your system. And that is pretty much the PlayStation 3 controller, so aka the DualShock 3. Now, if we take a look at its newer, younger sibling, this is the DualShock 4. The first thing you notice is it's got a wider grip and it's got a wider look to it. So you can see as I hold, see my fingers don't nearly come as close to each other as you would find with, say, the DualShock 3. Now, you've got your traditional PlayStation buttons here. Of course, your triangle, circle, X, and square. On the left side is your D-pad, and the D-pad is a little differentiated. You can see if I bring it a little closer here, it's kind of indents inwards into the center of the controller, so giving you a better feel to it. I do like this D-pad. I think is a good improvement from Sony here. Other things to mention, of course, your analog sticks are still in the center. They feel a bit more I would say rigid, not rigid, but more tightened. So they actually have a better feel to it than the DualShock 3. You've got this touchpad in the center here. Now, that's a completely new feature here. It's a clickable touchpad, so I can actually click on it. But I can, touch on the pad itself. And that's something, they've kind of carried over from the PS Vita into the DualShock 4. We'll see how developers use that in the long term. Now, the start and select buttons are gone. You do have the option button on the right hand side here, which acts as the start button, and you have a share button. And what that really means is that if you want to share your gameplay, all you have to do is hit the share button, and that's it. It's right at your fingertips from the D-pad. Slide over, you have a share button. Now, below the trackpad, you do have the speaker here, and that's actually a built-in speaker, and some games utilize it, like Killzone. So when you hear people on radio frequencies, they actually come out here. It's a cool little feature, interesting. Now, on the PS4 controller, you actually have a headphone port here. You can actually plug in a headphone, of course, and EXT port here, of course, for accessories and things like that. Now we pan around to the back. We take a look at some of the shoulder buttons here. You've got your standard R1, R2, L1, L2 is normal long card 1 and 2 here. The shoulder buttons here feel comfortable. Still, it's not, feels just pretty much about the same, I think. The triggers here, I think, are just much better. They actually feel much better and than what I would find here with the PlayStation 3 controller, DualShock 3. Now, it's also got this like LED light up here in front, and that's actually to work with the new PlayStation Eye camera. So instead of using those glow ball stick thingies, you just need your controller, so you don't have to get an extra accessory for using the camera. Now this is also rechargeable controller, and this uses a micro USB cord, and you can actually use this controller as I mentioned earlier to play on the PS3. You can also use this eventually on PC. Sony says they will be bringing some PC support to it, so we'll eventually see that there. Now the controller grip, as I mentioned, is just wider. It feels more comfortable than its PS3 counterpart, and you can see the controller itself. If you put it side by side here, you can see it's just a little wider. It's got that wider feel to it overall. And if you put it side by side here again, just to show you guys how it looks. Now, in terms of height, you can see the controller is longer and larger. Just put it that way, as I turned that on by mistake. So my PS3 actually has just turned on. And yeah, so looking at both controllers, I think Sony has done a good job in evolving what the DualShock is. It still looks and feels the same. It's as familiar as you would expect. So if you're a PlayStation user, there's nothing weird about this controller. I mean, you've got that new touchpad in the center, but there's just literally another accessible button for you to use. And even though there is no start and select, you still do have the option and share, which carry out the same function for the PlayStation 4. And in terms of controllers, I really like the DualShock 4 controller. I'm not a fan of the analog sticks in the middle, and that's just a general thing, but I really like the way it handles. I think it's a much more comfortable controller to use. And again, you can use it now on your PS3 if you want to definitely check it out and try. So I know you guys asked for this video, so here it is. Hopefully you enjoyed our look and comparison between the DualShock 4 here for the PS4 and the DualShock 3 here that of course you can use on your PlayStation 3. If you guys have any questions or any comments about this, let us know. Don't forget to subscribe to all our pages on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and then also subscribe to Bored at Work here on YouTube so we can make more videos. Subscribe to our gaming channel where we will move most of this kind of videos over. We're still making most of them here, but we will move them over to Board Gamers eventually. Right now we have a lot of video game clips on there for all the different games we're playing. And subscribe to Board Gamers. We have the link at the top left hand corner, and to subscribe to Bored at Work is on the top right hand corner with the little Bored at Work logo. So if you have any questions or any comments, leave it with this video. Let us know. And again, this is Thunder E saying thank you, and always enjoy your entertainment.